forget it.
I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Ascension Parish Finance Committee. Am I supposed to get this? Thank you. My brain's slow tonight, gentlemen. Y'all excuse me. Madam Secretary, we have members who are absent. Councilman Turner, Councilman Johnson, and Councilman Kluot. And we need to have the invocation and the pledge. I'm going to get that straight. Brian, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Heavenly Father, we just thank you for bringing us here on this great night. We thank you for keeping the storm away this weekend and keeping everyone in the parish safe and away from any floodwaters. We just ask that you would bless this meeting tonight, help guide our thoughts and our words as we make decisions for the parish. And we just ask that you would bless and touch the family of former Gonzales Mayor Nelson Roth as he passed away recently. And we just ask you to keep everyone safe on their way home tonight and throughout this week. We thank you and praise you in the mighty name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Ken.
Just as I also might would add, for the family of Larry Smith, who passed away this past week, we want to offer our condolences to him as a good friend, and we wish him best of luck in the future.
Thank you.
He passes this week.
There will be public comment time. If you have an issue on which you wish to speak, please sign in with the secretary and you'll be recognized at the appropriate time. There are no chair additions, so we will move on to number 5, to approve the 2013 audit engagement letter from Falk and Winkler. Tommy Lejeune. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you, Ms. Casso. What you've got before you tonight is consideration to appoint us as your annual auditor for the 2013 fiscal year that'll end in December, which would get you basically in compliance with the state audit law, and something we've done for you for the last several years.
Make that motion.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Crislow, a second by Councilman Oliver Joseph. Any discussion? Any objection? That motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 6, request to declare the library property as surplus. And we invite Ms. Angèle Desautel to join us and welcome you here tonight.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chairman and the members of the council. What we have tonight is a request to declare a portion of the Dutchtown land as surplus land. Initially, when we purchased this property, we bought 7.5 acres because the individual wished to sell the entire lot, not part of the lot. So of that 7.5 acres, 5.5 are between the road and Jim Bayou. Then Jim Bayou cuts across the property, and then there's approximately 2.15 acres behind that bayou. And someone has expressed interest in purchasing it. The board looked at it, they considered it, they will only sell what is behind the bayou because of the fact that it's prohibitive for us to do anything to cross over the bayou. And also, it's the property on the, once it's on the other side, it's landlocked. So it would be really of no use for anyone but the person who purchases the land on the other side. But at this time, the board would ask that that parcel of land be declared surplus property.
I move that.
A motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Kent Shakesnyder. Do we have any questions? Angèle, I would only have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the land purchased behind the 2.15 acres? It says land just purchased on this map. Who just purchased that?
I do not have that information at that time. I have requested it. And that is the individual who has expressed an interest in buying.
And so I would assume that this landowner has adjacent property, otherwise he's landlocked. We're not going to get into an
Exactly.
issue where he cannot get through we don't want him driving through the library to get to his property, in other words.
Exactly. And in fact, coming off the subdivision, there is a marking for a road into that piece of land that individual just purchased. So from that side of the property, from that individual's property, there is a mechanism to get to the piece of land.
Okay, so
That
that
would
would be
be
in
so.
Cobblestone.
Yes, ma'am.
So there's access that can be gained to that property through Cobblestone,
Yes,
and then
ma'am.
if he is also the adjacent landowner, then he can get in
He can get
from the
in
right
from that
hand
side.
side.
Yes.
Okay.
The property appraised at $95,000. And the board intends to take those funds and place them back into our construction fund, the library's construction fund.
And you're aware that this property will have to be auctioned?
Yes, ma'am. And the board is aware of that also.
Okay, very good. Mr. Martinez?
I would just request that, and I've spoken to Ms. Longell about this, that the minimum would be what it's appraised for,
Oh,
nothing less. Okay, it's not,
Minimum sale.
that's it.
I think you can set that at auction.
Yes.
A minimum.
That's why we've got to go through the process. We've got to declare it surplus and then sell it and put in a public sale.
Okay. Any other questions, gentlemen? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Angel. Item number 7, the presentation of the 2013 amended and the 2014 budget. Parish President Martinez and Ms. Gwynn.
Yes, basically what we're going to do this year, we'll do it a little bit different since this is the first time you've seen this budget, most of you. We want you to look at it, and we're going to put another agenda item on the council meeting, and if there's any questions, it gives you time to look at everything. And we also want to offer, during that time period, the opportunity to have a one-on-one session with our finance office, if you choose to do so. And hopefully we can get all your questions answered, and certainly you have another opportunity again before it's actually presented, so that way everybody can look it over and give it as much consideration as they possibly can. And basically it's a $73 million operating budget, and rounding off things, $111 million capital outlay budget, and it's about $5 million more on the operation side, but a lot of that is due to purchasing equipment. Ascension Drainage is purchasing $2.5 million. Fire District Number 3 is purchasing a $750,000 truck, and we've also picked up ACUD 1 and 2, and taken out a department with the stormwater and combined it. You'll see planning is probably one of the only departments that's actually gained. The rest of the departments have actually pretty much cut. So, but planning, because we put the stormwater in planning and cut it out, and went from $1 million budget there at one time to now it was $340-something thousand last year. So this year it'll be combined with the planning department. So. Anyway, that's basically it. That's all I wanted to touch on tonight. But from there, if you have any questions, please call us and set up an appointment.
All right. Any questions, gentlemen? And we'll move along to item number 8, the amendment to an ordinance, the revision to the mental health fee schedule to charge $25 for substance abuse evaluations at the Ascension Parish Jail. And Mr. Kenny Matassa is here to elaborate on that.
Councilwoman and councilman, I have that. I was wondering, what do you have as far as in your packet? Let me show you. You have this. You just have the $25. See, this is the fee scale.
Let me see.
You don't have this?
Yeah, we don't have it.
Put it up on the screen. Kenny, can you put it on the screen? Can you put it on the screen? There we go. Oh, expand it.
There you go.
Okay, this fee scale, from what I understand, has never really been approved under an ordinance, so that's why we're bringing it up. The only new thing on it is the $25 in the jail, which I'm going to go through it, and any questions, Ms. Lisa can answer for you. But individual, see, some people have insurance, some people don't. So if you have insurance, it would cost you $80 to see a psychiatrist or whatever. A group therapy is $40. Now, uninsured or Medicare, Medicaid is $5. Now, fee for service, I don't know if you can see that, but it's a sliding scale, so if a person makes $50,000, they would pay $10. If they make $51,000, they would pay $20. That's people that don't have any Medicaid, Medicare, or any kind of insurance. The evaluation in the clinic is $50, which if you go to any psychologist or whatever would be probably 4 times that. In jail, we want to charge $25. Now, of course, if, what's his name in the jail? Darryl runs the program in the jail, and he'll do an assessment on them. If they don't have any money, we're still going to do it. Most of these are court ordered, and so they have to have it done. Now, of course, like I said, if they have money, we're going to charge them up to $25 to have this done. It's really reasonable if you go to a private practice. And the drug screen test, $8. The alcohol screen, $2. And if you can't speak English and we have to get an interpreter, it's so much an hour. But if they don't show up, we charge them $25 because that's what that person's going to charge us to come to a session. But this is basically the fee schedule they've been charging, except for that $25 for assessment in the jail. Now, if you have any questions, Ms. Lisa can answer them.
Madam Chair,
Councilman Lohr has a question.
I'm sorry. Just, Kenny, so you had made a comment that we've never actually adopted the fee schedule. So is what we're doing, I understand the 25 is really the only thing that's different, but I just want to know, to pass it to council, what we're actually need to do is have the ordinance with this fee schedule in it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
The ordinance hasn't been drawn up yet.
The ordinance, there is an ordinance, but it doesn't have a schedule attached to it, so we're going to attach the fee schedule to
Attach the
it.
fee schedule.
So,
Making a motion to attach the fee schedule to the ordinance.
second
Have
that.
And add the fee for substance abuse.
Yeah, I'll second
Have a motion by Councilman Todd Lambert and a second by Councilman Chris Lohr. Any further questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Thank you so much. Item number 9, approval of a change order, ACC 001, contract with Acadian Commercial Contractors, LLC, for the car wash facility at DPW. Michael Petty, Senior Project Manager.
Okay, so on this item, it's a scenario where there was a bit of confusion when the contract was executed. The original bid that went out that was advertised for the construction of the project included 3 total number of addendum, with the 3 changing various portions of the bid documents that increased the time for the construction from, I believe it was 60 days to 180 days. The project involves the ordering and purchase of a pre-engineered building, which the turnaround lead time for that type of structure, the 60 days wouldn't have allowed enough time to order the building, allow it to be manufactured, and then, brought in. So a portion of this change order just changes the contract to reflect the 180 days that was originally in the addendum in the bid documents. And then additionally, there was the base bid and then an alternate number 1, which included the tying in of a couple of utilities to the facility to the building at DPW. It was decided that this the contractor that won the bid would do that work as well, and so the change order also adds in their amount of alternate number 1. So it clears up some confusion. We had originally said that we wanted them to do alternate number 1. However, when the contract was prepared, it left that portion out, and so we're just clearing up some confusion before construction starts.
So move.
Have a motion by Councilman Kent Shakespeare, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Gentlemen, do we have any questions? I have two. Councilman Lambert would like to ask a question.
This is also part of the stormwater, and this is something that's required, and we have to make yearly reports. So this is why we're building a car wash facility, if anybody wanted to know.
Thank you for sharing that. I was wondering why we need a car wash, but, well, thank you. Councilman Lambert.
That was one of the things. Thank you, Parish President. So what the additional days, would they have 60 days left, or is it, how many days is it? It's 100, you started out with 180?
It was 60, we're adding 120.
So we're going to
We're extending it out to
120?
the 180.
Construction has not begun, but the contract, the way it was drafted and executed, had in there a term of completion in 60 days. If you, I believe you have all the information here, but on the second page of the actual change order itself, we're increasing that time by 120 days to make it a total of 180 days.
Okay.
And construction actually hasn't begun yet. We just had the pre-construction meeting last week.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing no objections, the motion passes. Next item is number 10, the monthly contracts report. Ms. Kimlin Bailey Lomas.
The monthly contracts report for September 2013 is included in your packet. Take a minute to look over them. Those are the contracts that we have entered last month.
Are there any questions, gentlemen? I don't see any, so we will move along. Item number 11, the sales and use tax report. Ms. Gwen LeBlanc.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. You have before you your normal sales tax report for our 3 sales tax districts: Ascension Drainage, Sales and Use Tax District 1, and Sales and Use Tax District number 2. This is for the month of August collections, which would be July sales. You can see that each of them, the percent of difference from 2012 month to date and also year to date are up in each one of the sales tax districts significantly. And a budget comparison is right close to 99, 94, or a little bit over 100%. When the budget that you just received tonight does include amending the budget in 2013 for the revenues for the sales tax districts. The second page is the year-to-date for January through August, and it compares it to 2012 also, and this is just using our 1-cent sales tax district. And you can see, as we all know, the activity that is beginning to take place in the petrochemical industry. The year-to-date is up 63.4%. And then on the third page is the pie chart for also the 1-cent sales tax, and as usual, this is just to give you an idea of what sector we are collecting our sales taxes in. And following the petrochemical industry's increased activity, they now represent 58% year-to-date of sales taxes collected in that sector. And consumer retail's at 26%, motor vehicles at 10%, and business-to-business at 6%. And then the next chart, the bar charts, is a historical depiction of our sales tax collection since 2004. The red tops of the bars representing year-to-date in each of those years, and the last bar on your right is the 2013 collections. And you can see how far ahead we are in 2013 compared to the rest of the years. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Ms. Gwen, I want to take this opportunity to thank you and your staff for the work that you have done on the budget. I know that you have been working long and hard on it for many, many, many weeks now, and I want to thank the parish president for all the time he spent on the budget. And I think that it'll be great reading for all of it.
Yes, and I'd like to reiterate what the parish president said. If anybody, has any questions or just wants to come in and review the budget, just give us a call and we'll be glad to accommodate you.
Have you been able to work out a way to present the documents that we looked over in our budget meeting the other day for the council?
To present, you mean on Channel 21?
Yeah, here for the council and then again on Channel 21.
We will get again with the Brandon O'Day and the IT people and the video production people to see how we can accommodate that. What happened was the writing was so small that nobody could have read it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what it takes to get it blown up, the writing.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that very much. I think it
And
would be
thank
so
you for your
helpful if the
comments.
public could see what we see and understand where these resources come from and how that is expended in the budget. So, and what's really there.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you for your comments.
Moving along to the revenue and expenditure report by Ms. Amanda Barat.
Good evening. Before you are the financial reports for the month of August 2013. On page 1, total revenues are at 61.68% at 66.66% of the year. The funds highlighted in green are funds that are under the budget by 5% or more. There are 11 operating funds and 9 capital funds that fall in that category, and on page 4, there's an explanation for those funds. On page 2, your total expenditures are at 55.96% at 66.66% of the year. The funds highlighted in green are funds that are over the budget by 5% or more, and you have 7 operating funds and 3 capital funds that are in that category, and on page 5, there's an explanation of those funds. On page 3 are charts that compare both year-to-date revenue and expenditures for operating, which is the yellow bar, and capital, which is the blue bar, to the budget, which is the green bar. And on the last page of the report is a list of all checks issued in the month of August over 100,000, and the total of those checks are $1,260,054.12. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Gentlemen, do you have any questions? I see most head nods are doing this, but they're hearing no questions, we'll move on. To item number 13, to approve a request for qualifications for engineer services, Highway 929 Parker Road Roundabout, engineering 13019, by Buckhart Horn Incorporated. Ms. Jones.
On August 9, 2013, the Purchasing Department received 10 proposals for the Highway 929 Parker Road Roundabout. After review, the Engineering Selection Committee recommends accepting the highest-ranked proposal submitted by Buckhart Horn Incorporated and to authorize the parish president to begin contract negotiations for this service.
Make that motion.
Have a motion by Councilman Chris Lloyd.
Second.
Second by Councilman Satterly. Any questions? Councilman Lambert has a question.
Yeah, this project, is it been approved yet for us, the budget? I know we had some issues with the Shell pipeline. Seemed like at the last transportation meeting, we still had issues with that. I was just curious if all that's been resolved.
Mr. President?
Basically, from what I understand, that, you know, they're looking at a different approach and a different way of putting the roundabout in where we'll miss the pipeline or minimize any impact to it. So that's where we're at on it at this point.
So we
It's
still
been
have budget.
revitalized. It's been sitting on the shelf for a little while because we couldn't deal with the casing that Shell wanted, which would have cost $1 million. But hopefully, it's been reconfigured to where we can actually do the project. So a lot of it was a grant, but then we had put up some money also. So,
I know we spent
but
some
I
money
haven't.
engineering already, and that's what,
Right.
I see we're going for some more engineering on it. I'm just
Well,
curious. on
Buckhart Horn
where
is
we
the one
stand
that
on the
actually
budget
did the original engineering, so I know they're familiar with the project. I'm gonna have to get back with you to give you an answer that unless Mr. Pierce has something to add. He's gone. Okay.
But
You still here?
I'll add one thing to it.
We can talk tomorrow, maybe at the
Yeah,
transportation.
I'll
Bring it
let
up
y'all
at
know,
transportation
at the
tomorrow,
transportation meeting, yeah, we
Just-
can talk about it. I'll
That'd
try
be
to get the
fine.
answer for you tomorrow
That'd be
and give it to you.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert?
And Todd, just maybe something to add to it. I think they more or less moved to the subdivision, more on the subdivision side than the school board side to get it in, is what I was putting together. So if anyone's in that area about 2:30 in the day when the schools lets out, this project needs to move pretty quick because this is well congested at that intersection.
Councilman Lohr?
Not to mention, with the future plannings, the school board has obviously discussed that site as a future site for, they're looking at a high school there. Not that that's been decided yet, but I think it would be, this would go a long way towards planning ahead for something. So, and as Mr. President said, this is the same, if we do move forward on this motion, it is the same firm. And I believe that this way they will not have to redo a lot of the work they've done, hence, I think the reason they got the higher scores.
I understand that, but we had a certain money in the budget for this project.
I'll give you a report tomorrow night on it, but like I said, the reconfiguration is basically why we're going back to this project.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right, having a motion and a second, are there any other questions? Any objections? And the motion passes. Item number 14, the bid items. Ms. Jones?
On September 11, 2013, the Purchasing Department received 3 bids for a motor grader medium current production model. After review, the Purchasing Department and Fleet Department recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid from Covington Sales and Service and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this equipment.
Mr. President?
I'd like to maybe take this bid under advisement for now until I can look into we only have 7 miles of gravel road left in Ascension Parish, and a lot of that is kind of, I think one of them's in Canefield, and one of them, a lot of them is like the one house. It may be cheaper for us, instead of paying $159,000, to look at possibly, farming this out to a private company to do, or, but I'd just like to look at it before we make a final decision, if it's okay with y'all.
Absolutely.
Move the table design from.
What's the correct procedure?
Table, I just want to take an advisement and bring it back
Okay.
to the next.
Motion. All right.
Then we have a motion from Councilman Joseph and a second from Councilman Lambert to defer this action until further notice. Thank you. Item B, polyvinyl chloride PVC sewer drainage pipe.
On September 10, 2013, the purchasing department received 6 bids for polyvinyl chloride PVC sewer drainage pipe. After review, the purchasing department and DPW recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid from Industrial Municipal Supply and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this commodity.
Motion, Madam Chairman.
Motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Brian Walsall. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Item C. Limestone grade 57.
On September 10, 2013, the purchasing department received 1 bid for limestone grade 57. After review, the purchasing department and DPW recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid from LaForge Aggregates and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this commodity.
So moved.
A motion by Councilman Kent Shake Snyder, second by Councilman Dan Satterley. I think that was, or was it Oliver Joseph? Excuse me. Pardon my bad ear. Any questions? Any objections? That motion passes. Item D, bunker gear and accessories for firefighters.
On September 17, 2013, the purchasing department received 2 bids for bunker gear and accessories for firefighters for Fire District Number 1. After review by the purchasing department and Fire District Number 1, it was determined that Southland Fire and Safety bid did not meet the instruction to bidders requirement, resulting in a non-responsive bid. The recommendation is to accept the lowest responsive bid from BGS and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this equipment.
Motion, Madam Chairman.
Motion by Councilman Todd Lambert. Have a second?
A question or comment? Got a second?
If I can get a second, then we'll go to questions.
I'll second it.
Second by Councilman Chris Lohr. Any questions? Councilman
Yes.
Satterley.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'm just curious, why was the Outland Fire bid eliminated?
There was a part of the bid package that required them to fill out a form that said whether they complied with all of the requirements of the gear. And Southland Fire did not provide that information.
Considerable difference.
$100.
Any other questions?
I did, well, I don't.
Did they know?
That's a $300,000 difference.
I just, my question is, they didn't do it, did we notify them, or we authorized to notify them?
No, the public bid law requires you comply with the public bid law. If you have a document that doesn't comply, your bid goes. There's no ifs, ands, buts about that. You've got to comply with every aspect of the bid.
So be it.
That's satisfactory, Madam Chairman.
All right, so no further questions. So any objections? That motion passes. Item E, the Lamar Dixon access improvements.
On September 26, 2013, the Purchasing Department received 4 bids for the Lamar Dixon Access improvements. After review, the Purchasing Department and Parish Engineering Department recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid from R.J. Daigle and Sons Construction, and to authorize the parish president to begin to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this project.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Dempsey Lambert, second by Councilman Chris Lohr. Any questions? Councilman Brian Malonson?
Is this right there at the gate off of St. Landry?
No, this goes from the little church all the way to the gates, and the next phase would be the 30. That way you'll have 3 lanes, 2 lanes that make sure that the people in the back at the trailer park is safe. It's basically a St. Landry Road, taking it from 30 to the gates and making, adding that extra lane for storage, and also you can have 2 lanes coming in off of 30.
We're going to do anything, what I'm picturing is if you had 2 turn lanes turning at that main gate, you got a short stretch, and then it's going to bottleneck right there where you turn in, and we're going to look to widen the main avenue inside. Or Dixon right there, where you can kind of keep that move. I see this helping to alleviate a lot of the bad traffic problems.
I think you have, I'd have to go back, but I think you have lanes, 2 lanes going in. You could have the 2 lanes that can go in. It's wide enough for the 2 cars to make that turn into that.
Right there. I was talking about when you come up and you tee.
And also you can go to another gate if you need be. You could go to the next gate and have one going right and that one, and one going in the back gate coming back in. So it's just, at this point, it's more of a safety factor, but in adding that to give the residents that live back there actually an opportunity. I've had some residents come talk to me about this, and this is basically what it came up, but it's for St. Landry Road, improving it, and hopefully adding a middle turn lane too when there's not an event.
Traffic flow when we're having events out there.
Absolutely. Any further questions or concerns? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Item F, multipurpose excavators.
On September 11, 2013, the Purchasing Department received 2 bids for 2 multipurpose excavators. After review, the Purchasing Department and Fleet Department recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid from Scott Construction Equipment, and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this equipment.
So moved.
A motion by Councilman Kent Shakespeare. Second by Councilman Brian Malonson. Any questions? Hearing no questions. Any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. Motion to adjourn, and a second by Councilman Satter. Good night, all.